All right, some great tips from across the pond. We have the fabulous corporate consultant, expert extraordinaire, Mark Jeffries. Good morning.
Good morning. I like that introduction.
Do you like that?
That's very good.
Thanks. I just worked on it right now.
You did. Very nice to see you. Very, very appropriate.
It's great to have you here.
It's good to see you as well.
You're mentioning it's not only how to win people in business meetings, it's office etiquette, it's everything and anything.
It's all of those things. I tell you what, you know, the area that I specialize in is soft skills. And soft skills basically is about influencing other people and taking advantage of the tiny differentiators that put you ahead of everyone else. Because everyone's doing the same thing. We're all competing. We're all trying to go for the same jobs, the same contracts. Any advantage you can take, you should.
And by soft skills, you mean it's not so overt and blatant that you're trying to make a hard sell.
It's very subtle. It's about getting people to do what you want and think the way you want them to think without them realizing what you're up to.
We could do this?
We really could. And it covers every aspect of what you do. It's all common sense. See, how you sit down, how you shake hands, how you are with people, how you start and end phone calls or start and end emails.
Okay.
Now, I know handshakes have been talked about for a while, but can I just quickly test yours?
Please.
Nice to meet you. You see, now that is perfect. And I'm not just saying that because you're very, very tall. I'm saying that...
But what am I not, Mark?
You are not big. And I can confirm that you're slim, tall, very elegant. Is that enough?
Thanks, Mark.
Okay,
I'll pay you later.
All right.
Okay, great.
Okay, so the handshake thing. Here are the biggest mistakes that people make. And it's not so much the damp and the limp. We know about those. But it's the early and it's the long. Okay, I'll show you an early shake.
Oh, yes.
Off your hand. This is the early shake. They just go for your fingers.
Ooh, awkward.
And it hurts and it's horrible and no one ever says anything. No one ever says, what's wrong with your handshake? No one will ever tell you that.
Do you say, let's do a redo? That was
Well,
weak.
that's what you should do. But again, we'll never admit the fault. We'll never go, I'm really sorry about that. It doesn't normally happen to me. Maybe I'm just tired. Again, we'll never admit fault.
Okay.
That's the early. The long is this. Nice to meet you. Now, you let go. But I'm still shaking. You know why I'm still shaking? Because I don't care about you. I only care about myself. So when someone shakes your hand for a long time, they're only thinking about themselves. Soft skills is about connecting with other people, reading what they want and delivering it to them.
See, I read that as a sign of nerves that you're forgetting to let go.
It could be that, but you see, it's negative, isn't it?
Right.
You'll never go home in the evening and say to whoever's waiting for you at home, hey, guess what? I met somebody today and their handshake was normal. You just won't do that.
Right.
But you will say, I met someone today and their handshake was freakish.
Yeah.
So these are things that people think about. Actually, you know what, while we're on introductions, here's my card. Now, if I met you, I'd probably give you my business card.
Okay.
And we do it every day, right?
Thank
There
you
it
very
is.
much. That's great.
Now, you're doing the right thing, because the wrong way to take a card, may I?
Yes, indeed.
Thank you so much. Is to take it off them and put it in your pocket. It's such an insult. Because if you think about it, this card, it represents everything you've worked towards so far in your career. You're saying, I left college, I got a card, I've really done well, this is as good as I've done so far, and you give it to someone. They ignore it, it's very rude.
Throwaway, yeah.
So what you do is you just take it for a second, look at it, and make a comment. It almost doesn't matter what it says. Oh, you're from England. Oh, Vice President. Doesn't matter as long as you say something. You can have that
Okay,
if you like.
thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, great colors.
Very nice. She's doing so well. And also, you know,
listening.
the other thing I've noticed, and I know it's because you're in television, and we're trained to do this whenever we're involved in media, you sit up with great poise. But a lot of people in the office, and especially in meetings, will adopt the following pose. Do you mind if I use your chair as a prop? They kind of slouch. More senior people, they kind of cross their arms, they're looking around. They use the chair as like a sun lounger. Because they're so senior, they don't have to try anymore. It's a very arrogant look, it's a very senior look, you should never do it. If you're in a meeting, you must lean forward. There's a curtain of air between the edge of the table and the ceiling. And if you're through that curtain of air, you look interested. You could be the most bored person in the room, but you look interested. And frankly, that's all that counts.
And it's interesting, too. You say what we perhaps may be doing wrong here is letting everybody face the window.
Yeah, big distraction. And if, again, you're holding a meeting and you've got a lovely view like this, and your clients are there looking at you in the view, they're going, hey, a tram. Where's it going? How many trams? Let's watch them. That's how distracting it can be.
Right.
But, you know, on television it's funny because you're so elegant and glamorous, people are going to look at you.
And I'll pay you again for that later.
That's another $20.
I'm going to be broke by the end of this interview.
Thank you so much so far.
So make sure you have them facing you. That way you said you're well lit because the window is reflecting on you in the sunlight.
Yes, it is. And also, that's the other thing. If you have the client facing you in the window, there's a lot of light coming in. And so you kind of glow like this devilish backlit thing. Yeah, indeed. Because you normally we don't have lights like this in an office.
Okay, BlackBerry etiquette. If people are taking notes, people think you're doing what? Emailing.
They think you're emailing. Worse than that, actually, in terms of taking notes, is the laptop. If you take a laptop and you go, I'll just take some notes, and you're doing all this, it looks like email, it looks like eBay, you could be IMing. Take it down. To flatter people in a meeting, really flatter them. You write stuff down. Yes, a pen, and yes, some paper. How old-fashioned. Isn't that amazing? And you write stuff down that they say. People feel great that their words are so important, you write them down. I mean, theoretically, you could be saying, must buy milk. They can't see what you're writing.
But in this day and age with technology, you think they're not saying, whoa, they can't afford a computer?
Well,
they're doing is that foolscap?
I think by the time, that's a good point, but by the time you've got into that meeting, they're going to assume you've probably got enough money to have a computer somewhere.
And before we go, we only have about 20 seconds left. The big no-no is to let that dangling air just kind of lay around and have them go, okay, so
always release people first. Always end anything first. And if I was in charge of this now,
how are you going to end this interview?
Dina, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark.
And that
was great. Wow, what a lasting impression. That was awesome. Thank you so much. For more info on Mark Jeffries, go to markjeffries.com or speakers.ca. You travel the world shedding all of your info, which is fantastic.
All over. I love it. Thank you.
Thank
Great
you so much, Mark.
Very tall.
Posture. Over to Tracy in the newsroom. Her posture is fantastic.